Among the exciting new racing boats to be launched recently was the ClubSwan36. She's been an eagerly awaited Grand Prix 36-foot master blaster. Well, now she's in the water, and I sailed her last year down in Spain, and she made her first public appearance at a boat show at Dusseldorf just recently, and I went to go and have another look. But I also caught up with her designer, Juan Kouyoumdjian, to find out more about this innovative design. It's got a very radical sail plan on it, a very radical rig. It's obviously got your C-section foils. Tell us a bit about, for those that haven't seen the boat, tell us a bit about what your thinking was behind the ClubSwan36.
Well, the ClubSwan36, before anything, had to be a one design boat that was buildable in a production way, and hopefully for a cost level that made it available to as many people as possible. So it couldn't be super high tech, but I believe, and I'm obviously biased in saying it, but the purpose at least was to sort of find a good compromise between a level of technology that produces excitement to the sailor, because technology for nothing is worthless. So that technology needs to allow the sailor that is sailing say, wow, I like it, I'm having a good time. And at the same time, being accessible to a wide range of people. So that's what we try to do with that boat. So for example, we did this sea foil because, of course, if you do America's Cup type of foils or IMOCA type of foils, it will be more performant. But then the cost of maintenance of those foils and systems, let alone the cost of the systems themselves, and the complexity to ask an amateur crew to deal with that properly, it's nonsense. It defeats the purpose. So we sort of simplified it into a single foil that doesn't achieve all the benefits, but achieves some of them that we believe that's where the reasonable level needs to be found. Now, it might be a little bit more over there or a little bit more over here, but this is what the purpose is. And I think that we should allow for projects like this or other projects in the future we need to welcome them and promote them to basically keep pushing technology forward. Technology that is used to put smiles on people's faces, not just for the sake of technology. So the sea foil in itself allows for a very small keel to be only be there to hold the bulb, and a small bulb thanks to the rig. So in essence, we use the sea foil only upwind and close hold reaching, and downwind at a very high speed, like when the boat is above 18 knots or so, then it pays off. So in essence, we don't use the foil for going downwind, only for sort of tight reaching, but because we retract it. But in fact, retracting it means using it, because if you wouldn't have that option, then you would have to make a very big keel. And therefore, the retraction of the foil indeed doesn't use the foil itself to go downwind, but because you have that foil retracted, you can have a very small keel that downwind has a lot less drag and the boat is faster. So we're using it by not using it, if you will. But upwind, inversely, because the keel is so small, you need a foil to actually help you, and that's when you deploy. And then in between those two extremes of upwind and downwind, there is some reaching conditions where you use the foil to, thanks to the speed, to sort of take the boat up and do what we call skimming, which is not flying, but having the boat sort of leaning on the foil and on the back of the hull, and sort of have almost like a planning or sub-planning type of behavior. That was the concept. But then in order to, and then I get to the rig, in order to exploit this properly, you need the boat to be very light. The biggest part of the boat is the bulb. So you say, well, how do you reduce the weight of the bulb? And the answer to that, or at least the answer we thought, was to have a very efficient rig when it comes to depowering and sort of feather the forces that you have. So if you didn't have that kind of rig, and if you had a very sort of stiff rig that doesn't allow you to go through a big range of power depowering, you're enforcing a bulb which is as heavy as the overpower situation of the rig is, and therefore 90% of the time you end up sailing with too heavy of a bulb. And so that's how the things relate to each other.